I'm now joined by Francis Gachuri live. Francis, good evening.
Good evening to you, Lillian.
Francis, what is the significance of the meeting the president had with the MCAs? What is at stake?
A very significant meeting, Lillian. Remember, the Constitution Amendment Bill of Kenya 2020 is now with the county assemblies. The ball basically is in their court. And so the president was basically meeting the MCAs to court them to support the proposal. Remember, the constitution-making process and the process of amending the constitution clearly outlines that at least 24 out of 47 county assemblies must vote in support or approve the Constitution Amendment Bill if it was to proceed to the next level of taking it to a referendum, regardless of what happens in the National Assembly and the Senate, specifically on the specific areas that are being amended that touch that are protected chapters in the Constitution, so to say, among them devolution, representation, structure of government, among others. And some of them are outlined clearly in this Constitution Amendment Bill of 2020. So basically, the president was wooing these MCAs to support the proposal. Also remember the rumble in the mountain. There has been some discontent, so to say. Talk about opposition to the BBI process. Remember that letter written by Senate Majority Whip Irongo Kangata that indicated that out of every 10 residents of the Mount Kenya region, only 2 would support the bill and 6 would shoot it down. So basically the president trying to woo the MCAs to support the process of amending the constitution. There were also some welfare issues. I remember some 2-3 years ago, members of the county assemblies across the country had been promised some car grants. And so one of the issues that came up during the meeting between the president and the MCAs was that promise. And so quite some sweeteners being thrown the way of the MCAs, including that question of the car grant. Also, the other carrot being dangled their way is the Ward Development Fund. I remember the BBI document is proposing that 5% of the resources allocated to counties will be set aside for a ward development fund. The president telling members of the county assemblies that even if they were to fall out with their governors, they would still be assured that the areas they come from, the wards they come from, would be assured of resources if the ward development fund was to be created as proposed in the BBI process. So basically trying to ensure that members of the county assembly, particularly from the 10 counties in the Mount Kenya region, support the BBI process, which definitely is a pet project of the president, born out of the handshake between him and ODM leader Raila Odinga. Lillian.
Right, Francis, and what else do we know about the president's 4-day tour of the Mount Kenya region? What is in his itinerary? Who will he be meeting? And indeed, what will the talks be about?
The first day of the tour has been quite busy. Other than meeting the members of the county assemblies, the president also met members of parliament allied to his team, so to say, the Kieleweke faction of the Jubilee administration. Remember, 41 members of parliament from the Mount Kenya region and the diaspora yesterday penned a letter to President Uhuru Kenyatta telling him that they will not be attending his meetings at Sagana and his 4-day tour of the Mount Kenya region, and explained a list of grievances that they have with him as a person and his administration, matters of development, matters of the succession arithmetic in the Mount Kenya region, the question of Raila Odinga, the ODM leader, and quite a number of issues in that 11-page document. And so President Uhuru Kenyatta was meeting members of parliament allied to his faction today. He's also meeting a few more leaders this evening, and tomorrow is the D-Day because about 4,000 delegates drawn from the 10 counties will be hosted at State Lodge Sagana. President Uhuru Kenyatta expected to use that opportunity once again to drum up support for the BBI process and also respond to quite a number of issues emerging as a result of his 10-year tenure in the Mount Kenya region, the grievances that have been raised in terms of development, the question of who succeeds him next year. That question has been very pertinent. But today when he was speaking to members of the county assemblies, Lillian, he told them that tomorrow he will be telling them a little bit more. Actually, in Kiswahili, he was telling them that atafungua roho kesho. So gives you an indication of what is likely to happen tomorrow. Some serious politics expected tomorrow as the president tells members of the delegations that will be he will be meeting tomorrow quite some things, and especially that question of why he fell out with his deputy. That question expected to come up tomorrow, as well as a few other questions that are emerging in terms of the distribution of resources and the development projects in the Mount Kenya region, and ultimately that question of the BBI alongside the whole discussion and the whole arithmetic revolving around his succession, bearing in mind that we have about 500 days to the general election, and if you may like it, about 17 months. So that question keeps lingering on who or where the Mount Kenya region will be heading to politically and in terms of the succession next year, bearing in mind that there's quite some huge vote basket in this region. And then like 1992, 1997, 2002, 2007, 2013 and 2017, when the region had a candidate, so to say, a clear front-runner candidate, the situation looks slightly different as we head to next year's general election. And so that question keeps lingering, and it is expected to be responded to by the President tomorrow, Lillian.
And taking you back to your earlier statement on quote-unquote the rumble in the mountain, the President has somewhat been facing rebellion in his backyard. For instance, the 41 legislators from 11 counties of the larger Mount Kenya region who accused him of mismanaging his administration. That was in an 11-page letter. How does the 4-day tour seek to address the various issues raised by the 41 legislators as we wind up, Francis?
The President touched a little bit on that question today when he met members of the county assemblies, telling them that those who have quote-unquote been abusing him and insulting him, saying that he has no time to respond to them, that he's actually more interested in doing what he was elected by the people of Kenya to do, and that is to pursue matters of development. And so that question is also likely to come up tomorrow and is likely to respond to it tomorrow, bearing in mind that that letter, the 11-page letter written to him by members of the 41 members of parliament, was quite rebellious, so to say, telling him quite some things that they have in terms of the grievances. So he's likely to respond to that question tomorrow. But speaking to some members of parliament who are already here and so aligned to President Uhuru Kenyatta as a faction in the Jubilee Party, they're saying that they were not expecting their counterparts who support the Deputy President to be here, because they're saying that they have already declared their stand on where they lie politically next year, and also the whole question of BBI. So they're saying the President is only supposed to be dealing with those who support him for now, actually saying that those who have taken a different tangent, they allow them to do so, and those who are aligned to the President, they also be allowed to pursue their political interest. And so let's see how that discussion comes up tomorrow, and how the chips will be falling when the President meets the 4,000-member delegation from the 10 counties of Mount Kenya, and the political and developmental issues as it addresses them before that 4,000-member team that will be meeting him at State Lodge, Sagana, Lillian.